conclusion of the Bay. Welcome. We're here, LIWEBTV, Long Island Web Television, 110 channel internet television network. This is our business forum program. I have with me today two very distinguished guests. These two entrepreneurs have been in business a number of years. To my left, I have Ms. Pajani Fleury, affectionately known as PJ. And to my right, I have Mr. Ken Bartholomew, affectionately known as BK. I'd like to say welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being on our show. PJ. PJ is the CEO of Brown Eyes Magazine and the Vice President of Freedom Through Knowledge. Ken is the CEO and President of BK Signs, a sign manufacturing company coming out of Copiague, New York. And PJ hails from out of the metropolitan area, and she's a native of Haiti. Ken, talk to me about what motivated you to become an entrepreneur.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Basically, as I grow up, you pretty much know what you want to do and how you want to do it. It's not something that you said, well, you want to try and do something. This thing has been in you as you're born. It's just a feeling that you have that you're going to own your own company and you're going to build from that company on. When I was a young man, I was involved in a program. I was always an art major in school. And I was involved in a youth program called YIEP. And
YIEP?
YIEP.
YIEP. What's that stand for?
I don't even remember. But it was a youth program to help kids gain work knowledge. Okay, so what this program will do, it will put you in with a company, for say, like let's say put you into McDonald's. YIEP would pay you, the student, for going to McDonald's maybe 4 hours in the evening and learning how they do things. So that's how I got into working with signs. I got to meet this guy named Harold DeLissa. He owned a sign company and an art store. During that I was an art major, they wanted me to go to the art store and learn about art supplies and things of that nature. But when I got there, I see the sign company, and I was very much interesting. Large sheet metal work and electrical wiring and things of that nature had my interest right away.
I see.
And this is where I started, and I learned, and I grew from there. And now I own my own company.
So young folks listening to you understand that he was motivated from a very early age to become an entrepreneur. His interest lied in art, but his heart was motivated to move into the sign manufacturing business. Now, where did you go to school?
Back then, we went to high school was Erasmus Hall Academy of the Arts.
Okay.
And that's in Brooklyn, New York.
Right on.
And that program was available for high school students. And you get involved with that program and they place you with certain businesses within the community.
So you're a native New Yorker?
Well, yes, you could say that.
Now, Ms. Fleury, PJ, you have a very unique business, Brown Eyes Magazine, and it's unique from the perspective that you approach the publication. Talk to us about that, please.
Brown Eyes Magazine is a part of Brown Eyes Publishing Group. It was the first publication that we put out in 2007. And it was a new idea. I wanted to promote health and wellness in the community, but there are other holistic health publications and other movements, other products out there trying to do that. But one thing that I noticed is that people that were trying to get into the health movement, it was around that time, it was just being cool to do yoga and things like that. But nobody was really seeing that a holistic lifestyle included arts, culture, entertainment, included the environment, it included people around you. And I saw that people that were healthy were also a part of the positive music, positive entertainment culture. So I brought those two together, using the arts entertainment culture that's positive and uplifting to teach about the health movement. So it's a mix, it's a blend of two different concepts. So we promote positive entertainment and then also teach about holistic health.
How did you come up with the name Brown Eyes?
I kind of fell into it. I was writing under that name as a poet. And when they asked me, well, what do you want to name the magazine? I just, came up with that. And later on, I realized that brown is usually a color associated with health. It's associated with the earth, holistic health. So it just ended up fitting so perfectly. I wanted something a little original, so.
Let's see.
Not like that.
The entrepreneurs coming out of our community have difficulty at times overcoming some challenges that we may be confronted with. One of the things that we spoke about early on was that a lot of times we as entrepreneurs of color don't have mentoring access to people to help us guide us through some of the nuances of starting a business. What was some of the difficulty that you encountered starting your business?
Well, starting the business, we do not have, most of the times as a minority, you're starting a business. We do not have an uncle or a father or something to that nature that's already been in business to even tell us how to operate a business or even to get it started. So these are things we have to do by trial and error as we move forward. And just being in business is one thing, but getting the trust of the community is a whole other situation. Because nobody really wants to do business with the new guy on the block one. And the fact that he's of a minority, being on Long Island, very difficult situation. So one of the things I learned to do, I learned to become part of, different groups like BNI, that's Business Networking Group. And what that is like we all would get together on Friday mornings, certain business people in the community, and we all would share. We would share we would share our experience in the business and things to that nature. We also would do referrals. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we have to do when we get together in the morning, I would have to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Ken Bartholomew. I fabricate and install a wide range of signage from the smallest paper sign to the largest pylon. We fabricate any kind of custom sign you could dream of. So that's one of the things we do in the mornings. And the fact that all of these people on the table is within that particular community, they also spreading the word about BK Sign Company within the community. And that's been very, very helpful.
So you had to build your own support network?
Pretty much.
And what were some of the things that, in terms of financing, how were you able to deal with financing your business?
Well, my particular business, I financed my own business myself pretty much.
Okay.
I didn't, there was no loans or anything to that nature. We pretty much, bought what we needed when we needed. And we went from that prospect. In terms of going and get loans or even to the small business network administration, we have been there, and it didn't work out.
It didn't work out?
No.
Okay.
I believe back in my early days, I think they had this thing in Foreman there with the small business network.
Right.
And we went in there and we talked to the people about financing for our computers and plotters and things to that nature. These are things we used to work with. And first thing the fella told me, do you have a rich uncle?
Wow.
So we shook his hand and we moved on. And 27 years later, here we are with all the products and all the computers and equipment we needed. And we have it right now.
So you got no assistance from the Small Business Development whatsoever?
No.
So all he did was ask you, do you have a rich uncle?
Believe it or not, yes, he did. He asked me, do you have a rich uncle? And I just looked at him, shook his hand, and I moved on. Today we own plotters, brakes, equipment, trucks, bucket trucks, and, basically all of these things was financed through the years as we grow.
So, listening to Ken talk, you and the viewing audience, he said a couple of things without even saying them relative to his business. Number one, he was highly motivated. So those of you who are interested in going into business, you got to be motivated. Number two, you got to be determined. You have to be determined because he already told you that sometimes you may go someplace to look for help and they don't want to give you the help. Thirdly, you got to have discipline. You got to be disciplined to do what it takes to get your business started, to be resourceful. So those are 4 characteristics we talked about. Motivation, determination, discipline, resourcefulness, stick-to-itness, and work on your idea. PJ, you're a woman. Obviously, folks, she's a woman. Okay? Being in business, what were some of the things that, particularly the magazine business, what were some of the things that you encountered that you had to overcome?
Well, starting from home, we were talking about, if you have a rich uncle or not. Being a female from the Caribbean, it's not usually expected that you go into business like that. They kind of have expectation that you get a job and do certain things. So when I just totally veered away from that, I stopped having interest in really working a job. And my family is just going crazy. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You can't start a business. Or they said, man, you have some guts. You starting a business? Once I started getting into it. And it really wasn't a supportive situation to say that, okay, well, this is what you want to do. Well, how can we help you? I did get help from my family, from the community, but people are already thinking negatively about the endeavor before you even start. So even coming from your family, to face your family, then to go out to the real world, to face the real world as well, is a double challenge. And plus, I started it by myself. I didn't have anybody with me to say, okay, we're going to be on your board, or we'll be your vice president, or anything like that. So it was really independent, and I had to learn the ropes myself. Learn publishing. I didn't go to school for it. Didn't go to school for marketing, but all those things go into it. Promotions and networking. I had to pretty much use a little bit of common sense and just learn from experience. Just hit the wall a couple of times and stick to it.
Well, again, if you're listening, folks, you heard several things. First and foremost, much of the dialogue that she encountered starting her business was to tell her, you can't do it. Why are you doing it? Get a job. One of the things that is a blight on our community is the fact that there is no industry. There's no economic infrastructure, no commercial, technological, or industrial infrastructure where our young people can come out of high school or come out of college and go to work in the community, find a job. When the jobs aren't there, how do you find a job? So you want to be able to take that desire to do something and turn it into a revenue generating activity for yourself. The other thing she said was she didn't have the expertise, the training, so she had to do that herself. So all of these things that you hear these two people talking about are based upon some intrinsic characteristics. You heard her say, stick to it. You heard Ken say, I had to walk out of that office and find a way to get it done. These are important things that we need to focus on when you want to start your business. Now, Ken, you've had some dynamic clients, and many of you who drive around, who travel around, you see some of the clients and some of Ken's work. Tell us who you've done some work for.
Right now, we have done work for Verizon. We've done work for, right now we're doing work for Burger King. We have done work for Sprint. We have done work for a number of large companies. One of our biggest clients used to be Symbol Technology, which is now owned by Motorola. That was a major loss to us 2 years ago. But we replaced that with Burger King, believe it or not. We got involved with some people that own something like 37 Burger Kings. So we servicing those signs and installing them as well. If you would look out there, they have a new look now to Burger King. Those new looks, this is the work we are doing right now.
Excellent, excellent. You've also done work for Nathan's?
We did Nathan's in Great Adventures. We did also Nathan's in Oceanside and Deer Park.
Okay.
One of the things we do is custom fabrication. Our hook line is, if you can dream it, we can build it. We are into problem solving and custom fabrication. Anything custom, we can build it. So the whole thing with the Nathan thing, Nathan's is in Brooklyn, New York. So they have the original Nathan's there, which is a sign that was very, very old. We took that sign, reconstructed, and we made a small mock-up of it, and we was able to redo that particular sign and have it in. We have one sent to Great Adventures, Deer Park, and Oceanside.
Excellent.
So.
And you've done Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah, we do some work for Dunkin' Donuts as well.
Okay.
So through the years, we was able to gain the we gained the respect of certain clients, and was able to get them to come on board and buy our product, and even use us for service work. So that was very challenging, but now the name BK Signs pretty much stands for itself.
Excellent. Excellent.
They pretty much know they're going to get a good product, decent price, and at the end of the day, they'll be happy with it.
Excellent. Now, I'm sorry, PJ, the marketing and advertising advertisers that you bring into your magazine, who are some of the people that advertise in Brown Eyes?
Like holistic health practitioners. Some of them come to mind. A lovely woman named Diane that I met years ago, and I had her card, and I had it in with the different businesses that I met over the years. And I had my sales team call her up, and she took 2 ads out, actually, one in Brown Eyes and one in our other sister publication, Behind the Scenes. And she, relayed to us that a lot of people called her. And those are the things that we love, because when people can really connect with people that are bringing wellness to the community, it makes me feel good. And I know that the help is there, that I'm providing something for the community. Other ones, and actually you said custom design of upholstery. I had a great upholsterer that also advertised with us. His name is Rashid Abdul Wahab, and he also got a lot of business through advertising with us.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. How many people have you been able to put to work in your business?
Through the years, I believe we probably put maybe 20 people to work. Right now on staff we have we have a total of 8 people.
Excellent.
Right. But,
excellent.
Through the years, we did help quite a bit of people in the neighborhood acquire skills and things to that nature. Being a sign fabricator, you got to be schooled in electrical, welding, steel fabrication, sheet metal fabrication, plexi-work fabrication. So there's a lot to putting together a sign. You got to be skilled in many different areas, and not to mention the designing, as well as structural engineering for poles and cement work.
That's very interesting, folks, because many of us go look for a job, and a lot of times we aren't able to find that job. The job comes from somebody who started their own business, worked hard on their business, built it up, and they need help. That's where the job comes from. Building a business that grows so that you begin to need some assistance. In Ken's business and in Brown Eyes magazine, PJ's business, you need salespeople, you need construction people, you need writers, You need marketing people. And as the business grows and expands and generates more revenue, the revenue comes from the bottom line in any business is sales. If you aren't able to generate sales, you aren't able to hire help. If you aren't able to hire help, generate sales, hire help, you aren't able to get the job done. These are some entrepreneurs that are on the ground every day building their business. Now, PJ, you also have Freedom Through Knowledge.
Yes, that's the community-based work that I do.
Talk to us about that, because you're doing some very exciting things that people need to hear about.
Yes, well, I'm going to Africa later on this year to teach English. My partner and the president of Freedom Through Knowledge, he's in Brazil right now. So what we want to do with Freedom Through Knowledge is build an infrastructure where students around the world can come together for social change. And we use arts, culture, and entertainment there as well as a vehicle. As kids love to express themselves, they love to be a part of a movement and make a difference. And just giving them the outlet to do that is in it of itself the greatest opportunity for them to flourish. So Freedom Through Knowledge is based on like an enrichment style program where we give information. We have books that we distribute. We went to Haiti. We were helping a library rebuild, and we got donations to the libraries. The organization that runs that library is IET Soleil. And
say that again?
IET Soleil.
IET Soleil. Mm-hmm. Okay. Soleil is sun?
Like sun, yes.
Okay.
Like brightness of the sun. And we went down and we visited the library and connected with the young people. And so that was the catalyst, and we want to be able to connect them with different students around the world.
And this was in Haiti?
Mm-hmm.
And who was the contact down in Haiti?
Well, IET Soleil, I know the director, and it's a family-owned organization or run organization. My good friend Arabelle Clayton, her father is Pierre Clayton, who was a journalist and an activist in Haiti. And he had a house that he transformed into a library for the community. And it got damaged in the earthquake. It was completely damaged, actually. So we went down in 2011 to connect with the students there to find out what they actually wanted from the library as it reopened, and we got more funding to do rebuilding. And they were very expressive, that they wanted after-school programs. They wanted to be able to access the internet through computers. We had computers donated, but they wanted to get on the internet. So all those things we're still working towards as we raise money. And you can go on to ietsoleil.org to donate.
Say that again, ietsoleil.org?
Yes.
Okay.
And so Freedom Through Knowledge is working with organizations like that, grassroots organizations, to connect students.
Now, both of you, I'd like to have you say to our viewing audience, how can they get in touch with your business? Ken?
Well, once again, I'm Ken Bartholomew, owner of BK Signs, Inc. You can get in touch with us by calling 631-789-3886, or you could look us up on the web at BK Signs, SIGNS, INC.com, or you could email us at bksignsinc@aol.com.
Would you give us that website again, please?
www.bksignsinc.com.
So that's www.bksigns.com. And the telephone number again, please?
631-789-3886.
And PJ?
Brown Eyes Publishing Group, Brown Eyes Magazine, Behind the Scenes, and For Haiti Magazine. You can find out about all of our publications at www.browneyespubgroup.com, and it's BRWON, like regular brown, BROWNEYEZ, pubgroup.com.
Okay, so Brown Eyes is BROWNEYEZ. Okay. So don't put the S in there, folks. I did that. She corrected me. She smacked my hand and smacked inside my hand. She corrected me. Don't put the S in there. It's a Z. I got to say this, though, because Haiti is a very important nation for our people. And unfortunately, Haiti has been victimized because of that importance. And some of you may not know the story of Haiti. Haiti was the first nation of African people to overthrow the institution of slavery in 1804. And that's very significant because the army of the French at that time was under Napoleon. And I have to divert to this because it becomes important, because when Napoleon was conquering throughout Europe, he sent his general Leclerc to the island of Hispaniola. And they were defeated. So Napoleon only suffered 2 defeats, one at the hands of Wellington at the Battle of Waterloo, and the first defeat, which precipitated the sale of the Louisiana Territory to the United States by the French in order to make up for the finances that they lost fighting Toussaint, Dessalines, and Henry Christophe. The problem is that, and I got to give you a little bit of this history, folks, because you need to know certain things, because we have to overcome all kinds of obstacles, and we have to you see us here in this business forum. We have to develop a sense of responsibility toward one another in order for us to succeed in our community. And this is not a racial conversation I'm having here. I'm talking about some realities. When Haiti defeated the French under Napoleon, there was an economic tariff imposed on Haiti that they have to pay to this very day. 600 pounds of gold are being extracted from Haiti every year since they defeated the French in 1804. Over 200 years of having to pay that penalty. And the reason why they have to pay that penalty is because, unlike Wellington, who was financed by the House of Rothschild, and Napoleon, who was financed by the House of Rothschild, and the Rothschilds circulated a rumor that Napoleon was winning the Battle of Waterloo. And when that rumor hit the banking houses and the Bank of England, the stocks dropped. The stocks plummeted. And the House of Rothschild bought up the stocks. So when they found out that Napoleon had in fact lost the Battle of Waterloo, the result was still the same. The House of Rothschild controlled the Bank of England. Napoleon went off into the sunset. Toussaint went to jail, went to prison. In the meantime, the House of Rothschild did not finance Napoleon to defeat, did not finance Toussaint to fight Napoleon. And that's why they have to pay that penalty. See, you got people that have financed both sides of every war since the French Revolution. I just had to say that because, people heard Haiti, and right away, we in our community have a distaste for Haitians. For no reason other than the fact that we don't know any better. So I wanted to share that. I'm sorry to have to divert, but that's important information. Do some research, folks. Everything I said, you can research.
Well,
do some research.
An economic issue.
Right.
It's social first, and a human issue, but it comes down to a very real economic and political issue because they couldn't trade, they couldn't flourish, they couldn't grow at all based on this tariff that was placed. So in order to even say, okay, well, we want to progress, we want to do something for this land and be comparable to other nations, they had to agree to this or they would be isolated. And to this day, the economic status of the country and even entrepreneurship in the country does not flourish because of it. There have been different leaders that have tried to, counteract this tariff, to end it, to even ask back for the reparations that Haiti had to pay because of the absurdness of it.
Very unjust. Very, very unjust. So, in the context of developing your business, okay, that's a microcosm of the obstacles that the macrocosm of Haiti has had to deal with. The same issues are in a greater form are being imposed on Haiti that business people in our community have to deal with, have to overcome. And they're not as stringent as the tariff on Haiti, nor are they as long-lived over 200 years. This is 2013. So we're talking back 1804. That's 209 years that this tariff has been imposed on a country that had the legitimate right to free itself and its people from the institution of slavery. And I'd just like to also add that we want to congratulate President Barack Obama on the election of his second term. The inauguration is Monday, the legal holiday of Martin Luther King. And this program today, this Business Forum program is in celebration of the successes of people like Ken, people like PJ, people like the CEO and founder of Real-Time Studios, LIWEBTV, SHAWN Davis. And we got to bring SHAWN in front of the camera so people can understand. Even this business, 110 channel internet television network that he started 4 years ago, started because of rejectionism as a result of taking a group of young people down to the inauguration of Barack Obama the first time, doing a documentary, bringing those people and their parents back to New York, wanting to air that documentary in a local theater, contacted several theaters, was given a price of $5 a head plus popcorn and soda. And when the owners found out it wasn't a film that a movie that they were showing that they wanted to use the theater for, but it was a documentary on the inauguration of President Barack Obama, the owners of the theater said, no, we can't do that at that price. It's $10 a person and no popcorn and no soda. So as a result of that, you had the birth of LIWEBTV, a 110 channel internet television network. So you can see our programming on the internet, LIWEBTV.com, as well as Channel 18 Cablevision with the African American Media Network. I'm Makakuvu Ali Obey, LIWEBTV.com, with our guest today on the Business Forum, Mr. Ken Bartholomew and Ms. Pajani Fleury. Forgive me if I mess up her name, okay, folks? Please forgive me. PJ, affectionately known as PJ, affectionately known as BK. Any parting words for our audience?
Well, those of you that do want to go in business and have a passion for what you do, stick with it. Don't give it up. If something fails, keep trying. Because a lot of people out there, I notice, they would start one business and they go to something else and something else. Stick to whatever burns in your heart, whatever your passion is, and don't give it up. Eventually it will work out. Just keep at it.
Parting words is that even though business might be a challenge, even though sometimes businesses and capitalism gets a bad rap, there's always something that you can do to make a difference and bring wellness and completeness to the community. Things that the community is lacking. there's a movement, conscious capitalism, that I would invite everyone to look into, that are serious about doing business, to come from a space that is conscious and that is uplifting for the home.
Makaku Ali El Bey, LIWEB Television, 110 channel internet television network. Taking both of these comments, parting comments by these, my guests today, I want to say this to you. With 110 channels, we can put a lot of people to work. We will never be free as a people until we can put large numbers of our people to work. Finding a job is great. Building a business where you can hire people and put them to work is better. I want to greet you, Udama Akayu, Line of the New Dawn. We'll see you again. Stay tuned.